Good morning everybody. Hope everybody is doing wonderful today. We got a beautiful day in North Carolina. I know the weather's nice throughout much of the country. So hopefully everybody is really hitting it hard today, making a lot of money, got your schedule full, and just staying as busy as you possibly can. That's what what everybody's goal is. We've been pretty busy here this week. We're getting some of our truck issues. I don't know, we'd had some maintenance issues. I don't know if I told everybody about. We had the transmission problem. That transmission problem was actually caused by a blown fuse. So I'll give you the background. The guys, it was our Charlotte location. They must have hit something in the landfill where it broke one of the tail lights. Well, the tail light, the reverse light, grounded to the frame, which blew out a main fuse, which killed all the dash gauges. Well, they decided they were going to finish the day out and just drive like it was. And anyway, they didn't realize, or they didn't care, one or the other, that the transmission wasn't shifting. So a $1 fuse burnt up. It's a $5,000 transmission new, but it'll be about $2,000 to $2,500 to get us get one to get it. Probably about $2,500 to get it installed. So a $1 fuse caused a $2,500 problem. What I want to talk to everybody today about and that was just one. That was one truck. We also had an issue with truck one, the old dog, the original Big Bird 1. It had a fuel injector go out, and it was dumping so much fuel into the cylinder, it actually caused the cylinder to hydrolock. So the motor was actually locking up because of the diesel. A lot of y'all have some mechanical knowledge, but basically it had put in so much raw diesel fuel that when that piston was coming up, it was actually, it wasn't, you can't compress that fuel, so it was causing the engine to actually stop turning. And that had been a problem where when you first cranked it up, it was running real rough. You could tell it was running down on one cylinder. And we just kind of assumed that it, that engine's got a lot of miles on it and all. We figured it was maybe something fuel related, but, it was just, it smoothed out once you got going, so we kept going with it for several days. And luckily, we didn't cause any major issues. But the truck did break down. It started running really bad. It broke down on the side of the road, and we had to pay about $200 to have it towed back to the office. And then we had to coordinate getting our guys back and all that kind of stuff, and we had to coordinate the schedule. So kind of what I wanted to talk to you today about is deferred maintenance. Never in my freaking life has deferred maintenance ever paid off. And I still try and get by with it today. And it's easy to do because you want to keep on schedule and you don't have the downtime. And you really don't want to spend the money. So deferred maintenance is easy to do, but you always wind up spending more at some point. When should you do deferred maintenance? Something like an exhaust brake is like $400 on one of these trucks, and that maybe you can hold off a little bit on that until the part gets in. Then you take the time to bring the truck down, get it fixed or whatever. But that's also creating extra wear and tear on your brakes. It's not really a safety issue because you still have brakes, but I mean it's creating wear and tear on your brakes. So certain things that maybe are conveniences, window motors going up and down. Air conditioning, stuff like that is okay to defer for a little while, but you still want to get it fixed. So what you got going on is, one, typically deferred maintenance costs you a lot more. Two, employee/team member morale. The team members hate and notice stuff that is wrong with trucks, and if they see that you're not keeping up on truck maintenance, they're not going to do as good of a job themselves because it looks like you don't care. So if the owner of the business doesn't care, they don't care. So they'll start abusing your equipment even more, and they might it might even spread to other areas of their work. They might not do as good a job with customers. They might not be as careful around their property so they don't damage, scratch walls, whatever. So all that stuff, team members pick up on all that stuff, and consciously or unconsciously, they've got something going on in their head where they're computing that, and it's going to reflect in their work ethic. Like I said, it might not be a conscious decision they make, but they notice what's going on, and subconsciously their work ethic could very well suffer. Most of the time I've deferred maintenance, a lot of it at the time anyway, it has wound up costing me a lot more money. This fuse issue, had we trained our guys well enough and asked the right questions about it, we'd have realized this thing, the transmission wasn't doing right, and we'd have gotten the truck on back, and we'd have rented a truck or done whatever, we rotated another truck there, done whatever we needed to do to get the schedule complete. Instead, we kept running that truck and blew up a $2,500 transmission, and instead of having an hour and a half repair on fixing the taillight assembly, we're down for several days with that truck and out a few $1,000s getting it fixed. Perfectly good transmission. It was a junkyard transmission. I covered the junkyard stuff over the weekend. It was a junkyard transmission. Still was doing great, but we burned it the hell up off of a $1 fuse going out. So do your very, very, very best to not defer maintenance. I will tell you, it wears on you, because as soon as you get one truck completely fixed and something else is going to go out, don't always assume. It's easy to tell yourself, I ain't going to fix that one thing, because as soon as I fix that one thing, something else is going to go out. What you fixing that had nothing to do with the next problem. It just seems like it. So instead, you're just going to have two problems going on. And as far as air conditioning and windows and all like that, I mentioned you could defer that. But again, that goes back to team member comfort. You know, they've done a real hard job. They deserve to be able to get in a truck that's going to blow cold air. And listen, guys, we are not perfect with this whatsoever. We've always got stuff on trucks that needs to get done. We got so many vehicles. We got one mechanic, so many vehicles. We have to prioritize what we're going to work on. And we ought to do it. We need to do a better job on getting stuff fixed sooner. So we've got a lot in the works right now. We're going to hit it hard this month and get everything to where it's working pretty well. We got used equipment, guys. I'm not saying, you know, some of my guys just want to go out there and they want to buy brand new trucks, and I mean, that's $1,000 a month in a payment. It's a $65,000 vehicle, $1,000 a month, and we're adding trucks. You know, we're still in growth mode. It's not like we're at the point now where we can afford to trade in a truck and get another truck, because we're gonna need to add one more truck here soon. So we're buying new trucks. We got to keep the stuff we got currently going running, and maybe in a year or two, since it doesn't appear that we're going to expand Junk Doctors really any further. We're going to make all of our efforts going to be on Junk Removal Authority, helping out junk removal businesses throughout the country get started and grow. That we'll likely be able to start replacing some equipment in the next year to 2 years. But right now we got to keep going what we've got going, and one of the keys to that is not deferring maintenance. If y'all got any questions about any of that, call me 919-466-9322. 919-466-9322. Talk to everybody soon.